And we are live. Theme song, cue it up.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
Reality, spirituality.
It's a new experience.
Reality, spirituality.
Yeah, keep your ears open for this one.
Reality, spirituality.
You got a question for RLM?
Reality, spirituality.
Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby.
Reality, spirituality.
Oh, now we getting real. Yeah, time to get down. Really? Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Really good. Now, that's what I'm talking about.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality Radio Podcast with yours truly, your host, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, oracle, student, mom, but most importantly, a student, always learning, always growing, always expanding. Happiness specialist. What the hell? Who the hell? It's not a happiness coach. It's not a happiness strategist. It's a happiness specialist. And when I say happiness, let me be very clear. What I'm talking about, a personal vibration, a personal energy of contentment, regardless of emitting contentment, regardless of what happens, regardless of the challenges life throws at you, regardless of the ups and downs and the hurdles and the medical issues, the relationships, regardless of all of that, regardless of all the external, how to maintain and how to sustain an energy of contentment, regardless of what happens. And guess what? That's a practice. Happiness, contentment, inner peace are all practiced skills. And if you ask me, and you just did, if you ask me, having an energy of contentment is more valuable than anything that I can imagine. And that includes money. I remember this was a few years ago. I remember having a conversation with the universe. I say universe. Some people say God, source, creator, spirit, higher power. It doesn't matter the term. I just gravitate towards universe. Anyway, I remember having a conversation, and it was about $500 million, which doesn't even seem like a lot anymore, but $500 million. Would I change? Would I exchange my consciousness, my awareness, my practice for $500 million? To be the person, to be that person that I used to be? And the answer was no. And so on this show, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm not going to offer you anything. It's not about. It's about sharing what I've learned. And when I say happiness specialist, all it is a practice. And what do you practice? You practice eliminating, focusing on, putting a spotlight on and eliminating all of the program behavior. Program behavior like worrying, complaining, having a preference, judgments, having expectations. Here's a good one. Put your seatbelt on. Believing words are powerful. No, words innately have zero power. But 99.9% of the population were programmed to believe that, yes, words are powerful. Energy is powerful. Just letters strung together, words are not powerful. But I digress. let me just get back to, let me just to do a quick introduction. Because a lot of people find me for, new people every week. And so when I say happiness specialist, I've been teaching these classes. It's called The Truth About Happiness. And I've been teaching the classes for over 15 years in California, in Roseburg, Oregon, and now I'm in Nevada. And the classes here, I'm in actually going on to my 7th semester in the fall, but the classes are attended by people that are seniors. Well, seniors in their 50s, in their 60s, 70, 80, 90-year-old people attending classes, which is the truth about happiness. This happiness thing, if you ask me, and you just did, is at the highest level of, scratch that, is at the highest level. This is my perspective, is the ultimate achievement. Contentment is the ultimate accomplishment, is the ultimate goal, is the ultimate intention. Anything else, I don't care. It doesn't, anything else, speaking from my perspective, is not fulfilling and or satisfying, meaning that there is always something more to achieve. There's always something more to do. There is always something more to accomplish. And listen, accomplishments, achievements, nothing wrong with it. But there is a reason why all of these accomplishments and all of these achievements don't equate to happiness and or contentment. And that's my practice is, number one, the energy of contentment is number one, and then everything else is just icing on the cake. There are a lot of people that share, in fact, I was looking at a post today, and it was talking about, are you broke? This is why you're broke. And I said, okay, so you have a lot of money, or you obtain a lot of money, or you find your passion, but you're still not content. There are thousands, millions of people that have found their passion. Shout out to Prince, shout out to Michael Jackson, shout out to Elvis, shout out to Anthony Bourdain, shout out to Robin Williams. It's not about passion. It's about, what are you rooted in foundationally? What does your internal life look like? And you can get an idea of what that looks like or what that is based on your perception of the world around you, based on what you perceive this world is. If you look at the world and you find disorder and you find turmoil and you find, you name it, and you put a judgment on it, then that's what's going on inside here. I know it's not popular. Nobody wants to talk about it, but I'm here to tell you that after 45 years, this seeking, searching for anything external is never going to bring peace. And to top it off, the topic of today's show is transcending the thoughts and the stories and prioritizing peace. Transcending the thoughts and stories and prioritizing peace. Yours truly. Don't think that I'm just running around skipping through the tulips and, yes, this is a wonderful life. Oh, wonderful. I've got a lot ups and downs and challenges just like everyone else. In fact, I think the universe throws extra. But let me get back to the topic. I am never going to find peace. I am never going to obtain peace through the mind. I am never going to obtain peace through thoughts and stories and all of the things going on here. The mind is not about peace. The mind, and some people say ego, mind, that entity that just won't shut up. That entity that is always coming up with the story. And let me say, the world loves stories. I was watching an interview, half of an interview, and the gentleman started talking about when he was 7 years old, and he had this epiphany at 7 years old. And from that point on, he started listing things that happened. And I said to myself, being aware or being conscious or having your energy shift, yes. Being open to even more possibilities, yes. But anything else added to that is just a story, is a story that is authored by the mind. It is a story that's authored by the ego, and it is one perspective. So what do I practice? Thank you for asking. I practice. Oh, and if you want to ask any questions, the chat is open. Feel free to post a question. Where was I? Oh. Things that happen, and I'm only going to speak for myself, things that happen in my life. I could attach a story. I could attach a very convincing story as to why something happened. I can attach a very convincing story that would justify and explain with tons of evidence, lots of evidence. Yeah, that makes sense. Whether I'm speaking, whether, let me just give you an example. If someone is somebody that's been grandfathered into my life, that means that listen, I'm 69 years old now. Don't tell anybody. 69 years old, and there's some people in my life that have just grandfathered in, at least for over 60 years. And if I am actively speaking to them, meaning, it is a consistent having a conversation, I'm not going to throw in a story as to why. I'm not going to throw in a thought or a belief as to why. The universe, God, is living through me, and I believe all of us is having an experience through me and wants to experience everything that the mind and the ego says is me, meaning this Rebecca character. In this identity and identifying with a name, a gender, titles, education, bank account, identifying even the body, identifying with a body, even identifying with any of it, it's all temporary. Transcending the thoughts, transcending the stories, transcending all of that, meaning there is a point where the witness, my practice is to practice being the witness or practice witnessing, and even the witness is witnessed. That, in fact, hold on a second. Let me see this. I think I printed that out. Oh, of course I don't. Did I print that out? Even though, let me, you know what? I can find it. Let me find it real fast. I can find it right here on my phone. Hold on. This is huge. Let me find it because I took a picture of it. And, I get this question a lot. The question is, who are my foundational teachers? They are Ernest Holmes, Dr. David Hawkins. By the way, this is Dr. David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force. Dr. David Hawkins. And in fact, I lent this book to one of the gentlemen at the gym, and he gave it back to me after 2 days. He wasn't vibing with it. Now, who doesn't vibe with Dr. David Hawkins? But see, it's my practice to be accepting of that and not making a judgment about others or their journey or why or any of it. And that is a practice. Hold on a second. Let me find this. Okay, here it is. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hold on. Where was it? Oh. Okay, here it is. Okay. And this is from one of my favorite teachers of today, and his name is Moji, Mooji. I've talked about Moji before, but here's what he wrote 5 days ago. Be where seeing arises from. In other words, live where seeing arises from, where even the function of seeing is seen. Remain rooted in this unseen place. This is yourself and this is your home. Be aware, live where seeing arises from. Even the function of seeing is seen. Remain rooted in this unseen place. This is yourself and this is your home. Now, I know this is not an easy concept to relate to practice, but I'm here to tell you, after 45 years, the practice of witnessing, the practice of observing this human experience has brought more peace than I can even explain. It's when Rebecca identifies with the human person, when Rebecca identifies with what's human, Rebecca is taken on a ride. Rebecca is up, is down, is thoughts and stories. And also, as Rebecca, there is no lasting peace. There are only moments when things are going great or things are going smoothly or Rebecca feels good. What I'm talking about and what I'm sharing is how to experience this peace regardless of what is happening. And I know it's challenging, and I know that it's not a common practice, and I know that it's not a taught practice, and especially when going through something physical. Say you have a physical challenge, or you have or you're in pain, or something medical is happening. It's not an easy practice. It's not. I know I've been in both situations, not to the extreme of I know that others have. However, I've been in a lot of, especially lately, physical discomfort, physical, to the point of to, to, to the point of using a walker. I mean, that's just that. And so it's not easy to stay rooted and stay grounded and stay focused on or stay focused on this energy of peace. Can I, and the universe always throws this back at me, can I be at peace regardless of what my body feels like, regardless of what I'm going through, this thing, that what life throws? Is it possible to maintain peace? And when I consciously am aware and prioritize peace, that's it. What else is there? What else of value is there? So peace, this mind, your ego never leads to peace. Never. It's not its makeup. It's not what it's not what it's meant to do. It's meant to do this constant. And if you're like me, the constant thoughts, are never ending. I don't care what I'm practicing, never ending. But that's where the witnessing, the practicing, the witnessing and observing what's going on inside of here. But listen, this world will throw out a story and will be into a story. In fact, this world sells dissatisfaction. I don't care who it is, especially if they are entrepreneurs, and they are selling. Be dissatisfied with yourself. Be dissatisfied with your life. Be dissatisfied with your bank account. Be dissatisfied. And that dissatisfaction becomes an addiction to being dissatisfied. The present moment, living in, staying in the present moment is the only place where peace is found. Not in the past, not in the future, in the present moment. This is something else I want to share with the thoughts and the stories. You know you're on the right track when your behavior doesn't coincide, when your behavior doesn't match what's going on here. And that takes a lot of practice, and that takes a lot of effort, where the behavior, in other words, let me give you an example. Say Rebecca is bothered or annoyed, and she wants to send a text. Send a text. I'll send it. One of those slap back texts, tit for tat texts. There is an awareness. There is an awareness when I separate myself from the behavior. There is awareness of whether I'm responding or reacting to life. Either I'm responding or I'm reacting at any moment. And responding to life requires a conscious decision, and it has nothing to do with what the mind tells me to do. Responding to life, and it's very uncomfortable. It's not always comfortable. But responding to life is totally different than reacting. Reacting is from the mind. Quick. Your foot gets run over, and now you react. Somebody slaps you and you react. But responding requires transcending the mind, transcending what the ego, what the mind wants more than anything else, which is number one, to be identified with, and number two, to stay alive. To stay alive. And the only way that my mind is going to get fed is if I am reacting to life the way my mind wants me to react to life. I know this is kind of this is a little bit deeper than usual, and I'm just at a different place today. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But the mind is not comfortable with, is not peace is kryptonite to the mind. That's what I want to say. Peace is kryptonite to the mind. And peace comes from transcending thoughts, stories that the mind creates. Let me just look at this. Hold on a second. One of the things that, let me just look through this. I want to find oh, you know what I didn't do at the beginning of the show? One of the things that I share, usually at the beginning of the show, is the 5 most common regrets of the dying. Of course, this is in the middle of the show or toward the end of the show, the 5 most common regrets of the dying. And this is a study done by a hospice nurse, and she asked her patients that had days to live, weeks to live, months to live, what are their biggest regrets? And these 5 kept coming up over and over again. And number 1, it was, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. I'm going to throw in, not the life this world expects of me. Number 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Yeah, when I talk about prioritizing happiness, when I talk about prioritizing and valuing peace, it's not easy to comprehend, but that's all I do. Oh, and watch and watch the playoffs. But that's it. When I say that's all I do, what I mean is that is the practice that is ongoing forever until I breathe my last breath. And this valuing and prioritizing peace, valuing and prioritizing contentment, valuing and prioritizing this energy of satisfaction. What higher plane is there to live on? Listen, I don't care. There's a famous story. Deion Sanders, when he won the Super Bowl, he shared. I don't know if it was his first Super Bowl. It may have been his first Super Bowl. He was in. I think it was San Francisco. Anyway, it was one of his Super Bowls, and he shares a story about either that night or the day after winning, and feeling so depressed, feeling suicidal, feeling that, is this it? And that's why when I talk about or share, it is an act of filling up with contentment. Number 1, whether you win or you lose the Super Bowl, whether I have $1 billion or I don't, whether I'm in a relationship or I'm not, whether I am healthy, medically healthy, yes or no, because there's going to be a time, well, who knows what's going to happen, but there's going to be a time when, I've lived long enough. Sometimes there are medical challenges. So the question is it, can I even feel contentment and peace even through medical challenges? Let me just throw in death too, death of a loved one. This is a different kind of show. Yeah, today is a different kind of show. You know what? I'm also going to say that it took off 2 weeks. I didn't have a show on Easter, and I didn't have a show last week. And I'm not going to attach a story as to why, other than the inspiration wasn't there, and the inspiration was there today. But there is, my purpose on this planet is to share what I've learned about the truth about happiness, to share what I've learned about this journey called life. When there are people in the Truth About Happiness classes at 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, still seeking, still searching, still wanting this feeling, There isn't anything beyond. And I will be damned if I stay in my head and believe that this, whatever's going on, the thoughts and the stories is my life. It's the thoughts, the stories are just an experience, and only an experience that my mind limited comprehension. My mind is never going to go to gratitude. My mind is never going to go to, wow, well, scratch that. That's not a true statement. And that's not a true statement about gratitude. But I definitely know that whatever is happening, whatever I'm experiencing, there is a purpose to it. Done. If someone is in my life, they're supposed to be. If they're not in my life, they're not supposed to be. It's not personal. I believe everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people will get to the end of this journey and realize the truth, which it's not about achievements. It's not about a monument. It's about how much peace am I feeling in every single moment? How much contentment am I feeling in every moment? Scratch that. Now feeling and vibing in every moment. How much peace, how much contentment. That is the ultimate. Don't tell me health is wealth. Contentment is wealth. How you like them apples? All right. Well, that's the that's the end of today's show. And I want to say that Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington, LinkedIn. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. YouTube channel is growing and expanding. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. And I've written a couple of chapters in two collaborative books. But my second book, my masterpiece, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. Exposing the Untold Truth is on Amazon. And in this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. 56 program behaviors. And I also list 26 behaviors that you can practice that will add to your contentment and add to your happiness. Again, happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice skill. My definition of happiness is the ability to vibrate an energy of peace, regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. This was a different kind of show today. I was a little, and I'm not going to attach a story as to not doing the show 2 weeks in a row. That's another story. This show was exactly the way it was supposed to go. And next week, it's going to be another show. Next week, the vibe is going to be different. I want to challenge you, my dear listener, my dear audience, to ask and to focus on what is really important. How much do you value and do you prioritize peace over pride, peace over anything? And for me, peace is number one. It's it. I'm done. I'm done with everything else. It's got to be peace. And until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You are conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and kind to yourself by accepting yourself wherever you are, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're doing. Be your own best friend. And remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. And remember, happiness is a practice skill. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find. And every experience and how you respond to life or how you react to life reflects on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Now let me cue up my theme song. And here we go. Theme cue.
It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open.
Different kind of show today. It's kind of on a mellow tip. All mellow.
It's time to get some answers, baby. Now we get real.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. What's up? Euphoria.
Yeah, you gonna feel good now.